Unit 1 Beauty. Hi all, welcome to the class. In the last class, we completed a prose on C.F. Andrews's experience at Shantiniketan. This time, I would like to take you through wonderful ride in the imaginary and creative fields of beauty. Think of all those things that has lured your imaginations, just like the spicy aroma of food from a wayside restaurant tickles your taste buds. Before we get on with the poem, here is a brief introduction on the author. Ea Shaw, born and raised at Isleta, Pueblo, New Mexico. She was a Pueblan writer, poet, and an educator. Her father, Diego Abita, was active in tribal government. Pueblo peoples are Native Americans in the southwestern United States who share some common agriculture, material, and religious practices. Pueblo, which means village in Spanish, was a term originating with the Spanish explorers who used it to refer to the people's particular style of dwelling. Please note the geographical location of Pueblo Isleta. The name Isleta comes from the Spanish language, which means islet. In English, means little island. The Pueblo of Isleta is nestled in the scenic Rio Grande Valley, 15 miles south of Albuquerque. It is one of the larger 19 pueblos within New Mexico and was established in the 1300s. Isleta Pueblo is surrounded by the Manzano Mountains to the east and to the desert mesa lands of the Rio Puerco on the west. There are beautiful things all around us to be seen, right from the dewdrops on the blade of the coffee grass to the evening sunlight and the sandbanks. From the chuckling of a baby to the wrinkled visage of an old man. As Margaret Hungerford puts it, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. While peacock with its vibrant colors attract a person, some other might like the regal look of king of the jungle, the lion. Perception of beauty differs from one eye to another. From an ant to a giant. From a bird to the aquatic world. Chirping of birds, gurgling rivers, melodious soulful music, beauty is all around us to be heard, seen and felt. Now, sit back and reflect on those things which have made you feel happy. It could be a beautiful scenery, a landscape, rainbow, an evening walk with your dad, sounds of early mornings, or when you heard your favorite song being sung. Anything, list them down. Beauty is seen in the sunlight. The trees, the birds, corn growing, and people working or dancing for the harvest. In the first stanza, the poet mentions about the visual forms of beauty. Here, the author is expressing her perspective of beauty. We should bear in mind the author's rural upbringing. Since the author is from a rural background, her sense of beauty is invariably linked with sunlight, trees, birds, corn, people working in fields, people who dance to show their happiness when the crops are ready for harvest. John Keats has once noted, "Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That's all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know." Beauty is heard in the night, wind sighing, rain falling, or a singer chanting anything in earnest. In the second stanza, the poet talks about the phonic or audible modes of beauty. According to her, she feels as if the wind is saying, "Here, wind is personified." She feels beauty in the clatter of rain and while enjoying a soulful melodious rendition from a singer. But remember, real beauty is inside you. External beauty is superficial. In this context, Thomas Overbury had said, beauty is only skin deep. Beauty is in yourself. Good deeds, happy thoughts that repeat themselves in your dreams, in your work, and even in your rest. She concludes that beauty is not always external or visible. It is within and it can be abstract also. We just need eyes and a heart to see it. Good deeds are the conscious choice of a person and do not happen by chance. While you do good things, its happy remembrances keep recurring in forms of dreams. The poet says, those happy memories fill you even when you rest. Here, poet means that rest being a state of inaction. The fond thoughts of those good deeds will fill those passive moments by making you feel its beauty. As John Keats aptly put it, a thing of beauty is joy forever. So dear students, that's all for the day. Hope all of you have enjoyed the poem. Meanwhile, here are some question and answers from the poem. So let's see that. Question number 1. List of the things where beauty can be seen during the day. Answer. The poet has simple idea of beauty. She says beauty can be seen in the sunlight, trees and birds, as well as in corn growing, people working, or people dancing for the harvest. Question number 2. The poet says beauty is heard in the night. Pick out any two things of beauty from the poem that are seen at night. Answer. Beauty can be heard at the night when the wind sighs, when rain falls, and when a singer sings from the depth of his heart. Question number 3. Read the first and second stanzas of the poem. Note the following phrases: corn growing, people working or dancing, wind saying, rain falling, a singer chanting. These could be written as corn that is growing, people who are working or dancing. Can you rewrite the other phrases like this? Why do you think poet uses short phrases? Answer. The poet uses shorter phrases for various reasons. Shorter phrases gives us economy of words, which makes the writing tight, thereby creating effective poetry. Such techniques are also known as elliptical expressions, consciously omits the words which are understood and which need not to be mentioned explicitly. Such writing gives musicality to the lyrics. Question number 4. Poet says, beauty is in yourself. What things does she mention here? When does she want us to follow them? Answer. The poet concludes that beauty lies in ourselves, in good deeds, happy thoughts, which are repeated in our dreams, work, and even while we rest. So next we'll have some assignments. Question number 1. The poet says, beauty is seen and beauty is heard. List out the beautiful things you have seen or heard. Question number 2. Write a paragraph about beauty. Use your own ideas along with those in the poem. Thank you.